look me in the eyes. If you like what you see, if you like the content, why not just hit subscribe? Why not leave a comment, something beautiful, you know? Leave me a beautiful message to inspire me. Just hit subscribe. Jesus Christ. Cool. But yeah, I don't know why, but I didn't know that you listened to Ben Shapiro. I feel like we probably talked about it at some point.
Yeah, I've been watching him on. He does his live streams and stuff like that on Facebook and stuff.
Do you subscribe to him?
I have, yeah. I watch it on YouTube sometimes, and
Like, do you pay like the extra money to listen to like the
No.
extra 2 hours or whatever?
no, I don't got enough free time to warrant that. But
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah, like if I'm on my lunch or whatever, I'll listen to him and stuff. It's like I don't know. I think people don't like him because he speaks facts. You know?
Yeah.
They don't want it to be true.
He's
It's like I don't know how you can disagree with somebody that presents you with their opinion or some thoughts on it, but then backs it up with relevant data or facts.
right. Like, wouldn't you want that? Like, that's the
Yeah,
thing that's missing from
that's-
dialogue nowadays is
yeah,
facts,
exactly.
and the idea that people
It's
almost
everyone's opinion or emotions, but
people get offended when
Yeah.
you offer facts.
yeah,
Which, I mean, I guess I kind of, because it negates everything that they say, and nobody's mind is open to learning.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say nobody, but a lot of people's minds aren't really open to learning, and you
Yeah,
know,
I feel like people are much more emotionally driven now
yeah,
with their ideas and reactions to things over waiting for all the facts to come out in different situations.
like it's not healthy to be so caught up in your own ideas that you don't even consider somebody else's. Like you get so offended that maybe what you know isn't correct.
Yep.
You know, I'm never completely sold on any point of view to the point where I'm not willing to hear another point of view
Yeah,
and even change it at
Yep,
sometimes.
in the same way.
It's embarrassing. You know, that's why I mean, maybe I'm not correct, but like, that's why I really try not to post anything that I'm not sure about, and I really just try to stay out of the political stuff as far as posting. But I do view heavy amounts of it on Facebook.
Yeah, a lot of my friends would say like I'm not that quiet. Like when I talk, like I can talk for a long time. My fiance, she thinks I'm, especially when I first met her, she thought I was like the quietest person in the world.
Really?
But or if like I'm around her family and stuff, they all think I'm like really quiet. But I'll talk if it's something that I know about or I have input on that I know I'm not wrong on.
Right.
Then I can talk for quite a long time. But I just don't like giving my input if I don't know all the facts or
Right.
I don't know enough about the subject.
And like that's another like tough thing too. Like if you're in a conversation that you truly don't know about, it's totally okay to tell people that. Oh, I don't really know much about this topic, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
But here's what I do know, and then I mean that's when you open your mind up to learning
Mm-hmm.
more. But yeah, no, I agree, because it is uncomfortable to try to like almost like keep up with a dialect that you know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
It's very uncomfortable.
You've been staying busy?
Yeah, I actually I quit my well, I already put in my 2 weeks, but I'm gonna be leaving my current full-time gig on Sunday's my last day,
Okay.
and then I'm going
Congrats.
to thank you, man.
You were telling me about that last time that you were planning on leaving soon.
Yeah, yeah. So that the day came, I'm gonna be going to day classes for barbering, which is gonna allow me to finish that up and actually get into the shop that I'm going to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really do enjoy cutting down here, but I'm missing out on walk-ins.
Yep.
I'm missing out on doing the right thing, like going about barbering the right way. I mean, this could essentially work out at some point, but not in my neighborhood, not in my area.
Yeah.
You
I mean, you don't want to really start off, like this, like at your house, because you're missing out on walk-ins, and then even if you get referrals, it's kind of like you don't. I mean, I was kind of like that. I was a referral from a few people, but you don't necessarily want to have random people you've never met before coming to your house,
Right, exactly.
So get a little neutral location, like a shop, and go from there.
Right. You can get that if you need to.
No, okay.
You're like, I'm off work, man.
Yeah, you can wait.
Yeah, plus one thing that my teacher had really kind of stressed is when you work in a shop with other people, with other barbers, like you learn off of each other.
Yeah.
So, I do like working. I do like the idea that I'm in a controlled environment. I can kind of dictate what goes on here and everything. But I also like the camaraderie of other barbers. Like I like being around other people. So. And
oh yeah, but it makes your day even go by a little faster, and you get to talk to other barbers in the downtime.
Yeah, it's like in the environment. It's like, I mean, you like working on cars and stuff, but there's something nice about being, if there's something that you can't figure out, you got someone else there.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Have you gotten into doing like designs or anything like that?
I've had a few opportunities where I've been able to try my hand at it, but it's kind of one of those things that you can't really like practice unless you have people that ask you.
Yeah.
So I got a few, but not enough to like really get to the point where I'm killing it with the designs.
Yeah,
I could do simple stuff. Like if you wanted like the Nike check mark on your head, I could probably do that. But some of these guys are getting some designs that they travel. They go like from here and they go around the other side of the head.
Yep.
And that's that gets a little bit tough.
Yeah, I can imagine it's got to be a little stressful.
Yeah.
Messing up on something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a big, like the little stuff you can mess up on, but not really too bad. I think I maybe told you last time. Did I tell you about that house call I did that I like ended up finding on like Craigslist?
No, I don't think so.
So, I'll give you like a small backstory. Every so often, if I have a day off and I don't have anything planned, I'll go on Craigslist to see if anybody needs help moving something. I look for other opportunities to make money that day. And I was looking one day and I happened to find that there was a guy, it was a kid that was looking to get like 4 haircuts done at their house. And I was like, I should do this because in the future, like I'd like to get into doing house calls and being able to cut hair for people that can't maybe necessarily get out of the house, or maybe maybe they're handicapped, whatever the case is. And so I contacted them and I took the opportunity. And so anyways, one of the guys, fiance or wife, she wanted to try something different. And you ever heard of an undercut?
Yeah.
So this girl did not have an undercut, but she wanted one. And I've done designs on undercuts, but I've never actually done an undercut. So I looked up a bunch of different undercut styles on Google. She picked
so she had long hair and cutting the lower part of the head.
Yeah, like back here.
Yeah, my fiance got that done before.
Yeah. So it's it's fairly straightforward, but I'd never done that before. So I looked up a few undercut styles, and the girl picked one out, and we I just rocked with it, and it turned out pretty damn good for my first time. She was happy with it, and then we did like a nice design in it too.
Yep. Yeah. When my fiance got hers done, she did that and then had like this cool design on the whole back side of her head.
Like, why wouldn't you? You know,
Yeah.
you got a canvas back there.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool to be able to. I mean, I was real nervous about it, and I gave her a haircut too,
Mm-hmm.
which made me nervous because women's hair right now takes me a long time because I don't do it as often as I do guys' hair.
Yeah.
I mean, for every 15 guys' haircuts, I do like one woman,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like my wife. So it's, you know, I'm learning and I'm getting faster, but women's haircuts take me longer, and surprisingly, her haircut took me an hour. I was able to really just like focus and get it done, but she was also happy with that. But I like being thrown into those situations. It's stressful, but it's
Yeah. Before you know it, it becomes just as natural as doing guys' hair, probably.
yeah.
Get enough experience.
I mean, it's different because the hair's longer, but the process really isn't much different as far as, you know, like the base. You could still take the basics into consideration.
Mm-hmm.
So like with what you do, I would kind of feel nervous working on someone else's car, because there's been times where I've worked on my car and like I've replaced the starter in my car when I was in high school, and I forgot to put the bolt through it that locked onto the body of the car.
Yep.
And so when I was going down the road testing it out, of course my car started, but it was freaking banging around, and I ended up fucking up the starter.
Yeah.
So that would make me really nervous about working in a shop.
Oh yeah.
Is like forgetting that.
Yeah, you can fix 100 cars in a row perfectly, and then you mess up once, and it's like the whole reputation goes down the hole.
Right, that one.
That one person's bad experience, and then they tell 30 people.
Right.
So it's pretty risky.
Have you? I mean, fingers crossed. Have you had pretty good luck with not doing anything stupid like that on accident?
Yeah, I mean it's inevitable that once in a while stuff happens. You just try to limit it.
Right.
But I mean, usually a lot of the bigger mess ups are early in your career before you know exactly what to look for or what to be careful of and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, it's pretty rare if I make a mistake or mess anything up.
Like that's like catastrophic.
Yeah, especially catastrophic, but even smaller stuff, it's pretty rare. Usually don't mess up anything that I still wouldn't be able to fix.
Right. Like the idea of taking out a whole engine to me and putting it back in.
No,
Like-
I've done that so many times.
How do you organize where to put all the bolts? Like, how do you like? My thing is when I take stuff off, I don't organize it.
It's really just experience. I mean, definitely the first few times, it's like you're like super careful of like, you take off a component off the engine or whatever, and you'll put that component with its bolts in one spot, like off to the side.
Right.
So every bolt is with the component it went with. But once you've done enough, and it's definitely easier if you're only working if you're working at a dealer on like one specific manufacturer.
Yeah.
They do a lot of the same things across the model line, so you get really familiar with what exactly goes where
And the different bolts that go certain. Yeah.
It just comes like second nature, but definitely takes a lot longer when you're at an independent shop and you're working on every make and model. I mean, it takes many more years of experience to get it down.
Right. Which is why they have like it's why they have like import shops, right, for imports.
Yeah,
because
people that specialize in them, that they can make their money because they could do a lot of those jobs a little faster than other regular shops.
Right. You guys might have to look up a little bit more stuff
Yep.
for like the, you know, whatever. Yeah. Like brake calipers. That's 13 millimeter, isn't it?
Oh, it's all different.
It is all different?
Yep.
Oh yeah, some of them are like fucking, the new
Yeah,
Dodge
it's everything-
Durangos
it's
are
everything
like
from 10
hexagon
millimeter
or
all the way
whatever.
up to 17. So, it all depends.
So those aren't really standard.
I think the biggest misconception is like, you know, people go to a shop and, you know, they have something wrong with their car and, you know, you try to find a shop that, you know, has good tech so they'll diagnose things right, but even the best techs in the world, sometimes it's a problem that they can't guarantee. You know, you're paying them for, you know, say an hour worth of testing time.
Right.
And they're going to make their best educated guess sometimes. You know, sometimes it doesn't fix it and people are mad, but it's, you know, a lot of times, I mean, I kind of compare it a lot of times, like when you go to the doctor, like if you have a problem with, you know, something in your body, and you go have a doctor's appointment, and then they, alright, well, I think it's this, so then you do it, and then you still have pain, like you don't go back and like,
Bitch
I want
about
all my
it.
money back from the doctor, you know, because they didn't fix me the first time, you know, it's like,
That is,
it's not a guarantee. It's like you're taking their expertise and all their testing equipment, and they're giving you their best educated guess on what will fix your problem.
right.
But,
Like you guys have a way better intuition about it than your average everyday person, but that doesn't mean you guys
Yeah.
are perfect.
yeah, it's
Some
like-
stuff is just weird.
I just had my fiance, one of her best friends that was in New York City. She had a problem with her car, and it's an SUV, all-wheel drive SUV, and she just called me. She's like, "Hey, I wanna ask you something because I've been to 2 shops already, and I already dropped like $500 or $600 between the two in testing, and then they told me I needed rear brakes for my issue, and it didn't fix it, and this and that." So I was like, "All right, you know what's going on?" And she goes, "Well, when I'm turning and accelerating, it's making like a grinding noise and a little bit of vibration." And just knowing the car of what she told me it was,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's your transfer case. Like I just diagnosed it over the phone. She's like, that's exactly what the dealership told me when I brought it there, and then they charged me an hour to diagnose it, and they said that's what it was, and quoted her like $2,000 to fix it.
Right.
And I was able to diagnose that over the phone, and she brought it to the first shop, and they charged her, an hour of diagnosing, and then told her, oh, it's the rear brakes. So they did the rear brakes, didn't fix it, and then they go, oh, it's the transmission mount. So, paid $400 or $500 for a transmission mount and labor, and it still didn't fix it. And then they're like, well, we don't know what it is, so you gotta go somewhere else.
Oh my gosh.
So then she had to pay $100 at the dealer. So she told me what the dealer told me after I already told her, given those symptoms and
Right.
how common it is with that car. I already knew what the problem was. So it's like you really got to find a shop that has decent techs that have experience. When you go to a lot of the chains,
Yeah.
they kind of like pick people off the street, really.
Yeah, and train 'em,
entry
right?
Level, yeah. And a lot of good techs don't stay there because they don't pay very well.
Right. So they're gonna go somewhere.
So yeah, those places don't really have like top techs there. So a lot of times you're going to be running around dumping money, swapping parts, and it's not fixing the problem.
Right.
But
That's crazy. I mean, transfer case. Are those pretty straightforward?
for the most part, yeah, most vehicles.
I mean, I've done a. I guess would you call it a transfer case cover? Or am I thinking of something else? No,
They
transfer case would.
They don't really usually have covers. It's usually a case that's 2 sides. They usually just have a drain plug and a fill plug, but could be a transmission pan.
I'm trying to think what I put on the back of my Ranger.
Oh, it's probably the differential cover.
Ah, the differential cover. See, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my truck wouldn't have had that because I don't have it wasn't 4x4 or all wheel or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So I just look everything up. Although knowing you, if I really have something serious, I'll probably just hit you up.
Yeah. For sure.
You replace my engine, I'll give you a free haircut.
For life.
For life, right? Haircut for life. Ugh. Yeah, luckily I don't think I'll have to really worry about much of anything with my truck for a while.
Yeah, it should be good for quite a while. Yeah, the best thing about knowing one of these trades is just, you know, you don't ever really have to have a job, so if anything happens, you can always do side work.
Right.
And there's endless amount of side work and people that need stuff done. You know, everything from small to huge jobs, so it's like whenever I do side work, like I charge $65 an hour on the side.
Which is a damn good deal because it's 100 now, right?
Shop is, 90 to 100 usually, so save, $35 an hour on labor. And I know like a couple of my friends are like managers at parts stores and stuff, so I can get parts a little cheaper. And
Yeah.
ends up saving people a lot of money, makes me a lot of money. It's a win-win.
Yeah, because they're happy, you're happy.
Yep.
Absolutely. Do you guys do you guys have the room to do like RVs and stuff at your place or not really?
No, we got the ceiling height, but just the way that the shop is designed, there's not a like turn-in room for those.
Yeah.
For turning into the bays.
Yeah, that makes sense. When we had our RV in Florida, like before we started making our way this way,
yeah,
we had to. There's a guy that was doing it out of his house,
mm-hmm.
and he would like do it in his driveway, and he had like a cargo van in his driveway with all his tools,
mm-hmm.
and man, it was so much. We got brakes and calipers done on that thing, and we ended up paying like over $2,000.
Wow.
And it hurt me so bad because I know how to do brakes. Living in Florida, I didn't have a freaking lift that bit. I didn't have I didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, jacking up that for that much weight, and yeah.
Because I could have done that even if I had to work a little bit to get the brakes and the calipers off. But yeah, I was like, Jesus, man. But that's all he did. He works on stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely lucrative, apparently.
Yeah, there's definitely a move for mechanics that are starting their own, mechanic company or business, like mobile vans.
Yeah.
So they just have all their tools, their toolbox, or whatever, in like a big van, and they just go around to people's houses and, do most of the jobs right there at their house. They might charge, $80 an hour, but plus maybe a service call for coming out to the house, and they have all their equipment there.
So they'll diagnose there and then go pick parts up.
Pick up parts, come back. They make money. They have it's under their own business, and then they don't have any of the overhead of actually building and lease payments and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
They save a lot in that, and they still got an LLC or whatever for their business.
It's probably just a little bit less comfortable because you don't have like the ability to have the car over your head,
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. It is pretty lucrative. That's why I was thinking like implementing like the mobile barbering, because I just the few times that I've done house calls, I'm like, there is a market for it. Whatever the situation is, like just like with people maybe not being able to get into the shop, like maybe they work from home or something, they just can't get out of the house to go take their car in or something.
Yeah, and on top of that, if it's something like the car doesn't drive, or there's a problem with it and they can't get it to the shop, then it's like, well, they're going to pay $85 for a tow,
right,
just to get it to the shop. So I mean, if you pay $40 or $50 for a service call, you're saving money there instead of selling it. It's probably a little more convenient and a little more quick to have someone just come to the house.
Right. Yeah, there was a few times that I was like, man, I should just call a mobile person, but I didn't know anything about it. Like, it's one of those things that was so foreign to me because I either fixed it myself or, would take it into like a shop, and I just wasn't sure on like how much they would charge. Or I think there was one time I hit up a mobile mechanic, but I think he straight up told me, like whatever it was that was wrong with my car. I don't even remember. I think it was something with my like with my clutch or something. And he didn't have like the ability to fix it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pull out the transmission.
That car was doomed. I bought it from Crazy Cheap Cars.
Oh jeez, that's just like the worst place.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's in the fucking name, Crazy Cheap Cars. It's not a good look, but they still sell cars, man.
I know, man. I don't know how to do it.
They sold me a 2003 Ford Focus that was pretty much fucked,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to. They didn't want to admit it, and it needed a clutch. Or I think it really just needed a slave cylinder. So they put like a used, which I think is probably kind of normal in some places, but like they put like a used slave cylinder or master cylinder or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, usually parts like that like never go used and things like that, just because just with the age of them and stuff, there's the rubber seals in there and stuff, and it's like basically putting back in what you're taking out.
Like just do it the right way.
They're not that expensive anyway for a new one.
Right. Yeah, they were definitely
But yeah, those places
being
just try to
stingy.
do things cheapest of cheap.
It was my fault too for buying a Ford Focus. I'll admit
that is partially your fault.
I'll admit that, but the way that they handled like rectifying things, because when you get a used car, you drive it and you say, okay, well, this is wrong with it, this is wrong, There was a clunk when I was driving, which ended up being the CD axle.
Yep.
And dude, I'm not even kidding you, I had to replace that same CD axle every 6 months. Just about. And I don't know why. I don't know why, like if it was just bad part or what. But yeah, after a certain point they stopped wanting to fix the car.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? Like parts that replacing the same parts like that?
Yeah, especially with certain brands.
Of parts or cars?
Yeah, parts. And cars. I mean, every manufacturer has like their known problems with like parts that fail really commonly on them. But
Yeah.
and then certain parts of aftermarket brands, they're not that of great quality, so they have repeat failures.
It's like, dude, let me just buy the part. You put it on. Luckily, when I was in Georgia, I had a really good mechanic, really cool guy. And he would like always call me before he would fix anything. And like there was a few times that I brought the parts in and he didn't charge me at all. And I was like, dude, that's like it was really he became like a friend.
Yeah.
At that point, when you start doing that stuff, then it's like. Then you're my friend.
Yeah,
I don't expect free shit, but man, when you just brought it away, it's like, wow, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, our shop, we take care of like our good regular customers and stuff. It's like if they come in and like, a bulb blew out, I blew out a brake light, or I need a wiper blade or whatever. My bosses will just we'll just give it to them. We'll just take care of them.
Right. I'm not going to charge you $10 to install a light
Yeah, it's
or
like
whatever.
Realistically, what does the bulb cost the shop? And it takes, most of them take 30 seconds to a minute to put it in. So
Right.
we'll just eat that cost. Little things like that. When people are spending all their repair money with us. So.
Like you know we're gonna be back.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. And that's really cool when companies do that because I don't know. It's you recognize that your customers, like if you didn't have your customers, you wouldn't have a business. So
Yeah,
it's like it's cool when companies realize that and instead of trying to shaft their customers.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We got some really good customers. I mean, they'll randomly just bring us in like boxes of donuts and like different food and drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's a big freaking deal.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't love
That means
donuts?
a lot. So,
The salon my wife works at, like there was a customer there that brought in like, dude, she brought in so much food that we were actually able to take it to a party we were going to.
wow.
And be like, yeah, we made these. No, but like, dude, it was like so much. You ever heard of beer bread?
Yeah.
So she brought in a ton of beer bread, and then like 3 or 4 different dips, and then like a dessert, which I don't even know what you would call them, but she brought in some dessert, and I was like, that's freaking cool, man. That's why I love the service industry.
Yeah.
Because it's not all like, it's not always like that, but you do get a lot of people that do that stuff. Enough to where it like matters.
Yeah.
My wife just got home. Speaking of the devil.
I saw the landscaping you guys did in the front there, the block and all that. You put that in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
It's alright. Still look like someone professional with it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't like it. It's one of those things where, like, stuff like that you don't do often. It's like, you know what, next time I'm going to do it even better.
Yeah.
I never knew that with landscaping that it's almost like a must to put, like, especially with those, you have to put a base down.
Oh yeah.
If you just do it in the dirt,
Yeah.
it'll look good at first,
A
but
couple years later, it's gonna sink or tilt to one side.
yeah, it's not going to look good.
Especially if you're on a hilly yard like your front is. All the water drainage and stuff is a roadway underneath it.
Right. Yeah, then it's not. And plus, I mean, luckily I knew that information when I did the other wall on the other side that's towards the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the last thing I want to do is have that whole thing fall into their yard.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're real nice and everything, but still, it's... Then they're going to see my handiwork, because it's so great. And I don't like the idea of that. No, it's fun though. It's really weird, so like as a barber, you can see the hair that has grown since the last time you've been here. It's, I don't know, man. I didn't know all this stuff. We're all like barbering. Just cutting hair, but now it's like, I don't know, there's probably a lot of stuff that you learn in your line of work that, you know, before it was just like you just enjoyed it, and now that you actually do it, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the level of like engineering that goes into it, just to make everything work perfectly, especially on like the higher end cars, and luxury cars and stuff, to make them so perfectly smooth and quiet and vibration free.
Yeah, like driving like a BMW is a way different experience than driving a Kia or whatever, you know?
Yeah, so a lot more R&D goes into it for just like sound frequencies and all these different like insulation materials that they use, and like everywhere from the floor to the doors, the ceiling, how thick the glass is. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, so there's actually, it's not even just like parts in the vehicle. It's actually it's like things such like you said, like the windows.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Which is why it costs more money if someone smashes your window in a BMW as opposed to.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of the higher end cars, they have the actual like double pane glass.
Oh wow.
And then just like you would in your house, there's like a layer of like argon or another gas in the center of the glass, in between the two layers.
Wow, is that what keeps glass particles together? Is gas?
No, that's just for insulation and sound deadening and
So there's a
and
layer
also
of
for
gas in there.
anti-glare. And yep.
Yeah, that's freaking weird. It's cool, but weird. I mean, even in like what you would consider the shittiest car to buy, you gotta admit there's still cool shit in it. Like the fact that
Oh yeah.
the fact that there's an engine in it by any means, like how do you just come up with an engine?
That's why it's very rare. Like you have to be extremely rich to, like, like Tesla. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Elon Musk is insanely rich. That's the only reason he was able to even get a car to be put on the market, because there's so much research and development and different regulations to go through as far as crash testing, making everything DOT compliant, all that stuff. It takes so much R&D to make it even possible. I mean, you got to dump hundreds of millions of dollars just to make it possible.
Right.
And then just to see if you're going to be successful or not. I mean, it's like a huge risk. So that's why pretty much the car companies that you have now, those are the ones that will forever be here, and you'll never really have new ones, because it's way too expensive to get into them.
That's crazy. So it's not really that there's like a monopoly, it's just that it's really expensive.
Yeah, it's just way too difficult to enter into the business.
I would assume the same goes for like things like cell phones. Like the reason there's not another Apple is because it's so expensive to figure that type of technology out, and the people you gotta pay to do that stuff, to figure it out, is they're engineers, man.
Yeah.
You're paying people a lot of damn money, big startup cost.
Yeah, and there's not much room to work with as far as when you build a handset, because there's only really 3 major players and chipsets and all the computing and stuff for cell phones and tablets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You got like just only a handful of manufacturers that make all the parts for them, so you're limited in that aspect.
Like even Samsung.
You can't really cut costs on that stuff, so it's like you're not really going to be much cheaper than the competitors.
Even Samsung makes or made the screens for iPhone.
Yep.
Right. So they're competition, but they're not. It's weird. Competition doesn't always have to be like you can have a friendly competition where it just helps all of these companies grow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to show you the mirror and double check that you do like the length on top. Like I said, I can't really add more, but
Yeah, no, that's good.
that's good?
Yep.
Okay. Do you like, I don't know if I did it last time, but do you like that I left it a little bit darker up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I always thought that was like a good look.
Yeah.
I think when I first ever cut your hair, I went like really short with that, which some people do like it, but
Yeah, I like both.
You're not really picky.
It's fine. No, I'm not. I'm pretty chill. No, it's good.
sweet. feel like it would normally make me like nervous, the fact that with this work, somebody on the fly can see your work and see if they like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That would normally make me really nervous, but
Yeah, when you get good and you get confident, and I'm sure it's like nothing.
yeah, like I'll be honest, there are things that I want to work on and like get better at as a barber, but I'm at least at a point where I feel like I can turn out like good quality work while still like growing.
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't know. I know that there's other people out there that are better than me, which keeps me going. Again, like friendly competition.
Yeah, that's like it's the same thing in my trade. Like I feel like I'm an excellent tech, but there's always someone better.
Yeah.
So it always makes you still try to get better than you are.
You ever watch like YouTube videos on like people that fix cars, and you're like, man, that guy's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, and like certain people like know certain shortcuts that I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's always cool to find out stuff like that.
And that's also part of like what's cool about these like different communities of these different these different types of jobs and stuff, especially in the service industry. Like you get to learn from people, man.
Yeah.
It's like, think about it, it's like it's free education.
Yeah, that's why I really don't have sympathy for a lot of people that are like bums that like sit at home and don't do anything and then complain that they don't know what they want to do with their life or whatever. It's like with the age of the internet, there's so much information out there that you can literally pick like 100 different areas of things to like learn, and you can find work,
Right, like the idea that, like, even me, like, I still get inspired about other stuff that's not in this industry, and I'm like, man, that'd be really cool to do that. But it's like, it's not my wheelhouse, so I don't. But
yeah. See, I've always been in the cars, but then at the same time, like, I get into, like audio, like speakers and subs and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
It's like, so I got big into that for a while. And there's just like so much info on that. It's like I think I know a decent amount, and then I look online and people like are able to do way more than me,
yeah.
and their knowledge is like incredible.
Like you would almost think with audio, it's kind of like, okay, you got the general idea, you got inputs, you got outputs, you got to have your amplifier to make the noise, whatever, and then have the good speakers, but then you're like. Then you learn something. You're like, oh fuck, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and then they start doing equalizers and crossovers and stuff, and
right.
Start talking about
that's like a separate one from the system.
Frequency ranges of all these different speakers and what's going to sound the best, and the center speaker needs this frequency range, and your door speakers need this, and it's like, holy crap, I was not
right. Like building a couple
expecting there had to be like this much that goes into it, for good audio.
You're building a custom sound at that point.
Yeah.
And that's also in the luxury vehicles. You're not only are you getting a good system, but within that good system, you're getting a specifically tuned system.
Yep.
Which is
again just engineering R&D.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for.
Yeah, I love sound, man. Like I love. Like on the side, when I get time, I'll like make like beats and stuff like that, and I just love being able to take an idea in my head and make it real. And then like right now, I have a beat that is probably like 20. I think it's like maybe 20 tracks total, and it's all different instruments. And to be able to like blend them and put them in their own position in the song so that they actually fit is so like audio engineering. It's so fun. Do you got a system in your car right now?
Yeah.
Is it pretty bumping?
Yeah, it's pretty loud. Actually, the other day it stopped working, and I think it's just a loose remote wire that I had tapped in. So I gotta take my sub box out because the sub box takes up like almost the entire trunk. So I gotta take that out to get to everything. But yeah, it's like I got like a 3,000 watt amp and
Oh wow.
one 12-inch that does 3,000 watts. It's pretty loud. Like it was plenty loud. I had it like not even like halfway turned up, and it is like insanely loud. And that car came with a 16 speaker Bose system, so it was already decent.
Right.
It's
already decent
I
before.
definitely like the bass though. So
Yeah. You listen to like hip hop and stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So definitely a different story.
yeah, hip hop and rock. Sometimes some Louisiana stuff.
Rock can get a little bassy when you have a big system, but you can always
Yeah.
control that anyways, which is cool. That's actually I don't know if you ever told me that you did audio and stuff, but I might have a. So I had in my Ford Ranger I had like you ever seen like the truck woofers?
Yeah,
So-
the real slim ones.
Yeah,
that
they're
are, like,
slim.
under the back seats or whatever, or behind the driver's seat.
Yeah. So I want to put one. I have it from my Ranger, and I thought about putting it in my new truck, but I was like, I don't know if it'd be worth it, but I think it kind of would be. And I don't. It's got an amp and everything built into it,
Yeah,
so it's an
yeah, it's a
all-in-one.
powered sub. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't. But with the new truck, it's like I'm not gonna rip my new truck apart to do that, and I don't know where you'd even start with it, because my Ranger, I took the original radio out and put in a double DIN system. Anyway, it was like a touchscreen and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's easier in those older vehicles.
Yep.
And
Yeah, the only
I
thing you'll need is a line output converter.
Okay.
You basically just tap one of the closest speaker wires that are going near it.
Yeah.
Wherever you're going to mount it, and that just wires it and then converts it to an RCA cable. So you can plug that right from that to one of those like powered subs.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy setup.
Well, like, aren't I gonna have to like take out like my because the computers in those trucks are like really gnarly, and I don't know how to even go about getting to like the back of it.
Yeah, I would have to look and see, what it looks like in there as far as your speaker setup and stuff, because you're really only going to have to access just, probably just one speaker just to tap into the two.
So I'm just gonna
signal
tie into
wires.
it.
Yeah, you just tie right into that.
Okay.
Use that for your input to the sub.
And what about my power?
Yeah, power. Yeah, you'd have to just run a power wire from your battery. You just run that.
Is there a better way to do that, or not really?
Not really.
It just seems so ghetto. I mean, like I said, I did that with my truck, but
You can do. I mean, you can do it cleanly. It just takes more time. Put it under the carpet and stuff, and
yeah.
where you wouldn't know. No one would know it's there. I mean, I did that with my Infinity out there. I got big 0-gauge wire, and you can't see any of it.
Yeah, it's just hidden behind like the plastic and stuff, right?
It's hidden behind everything.
Yeah.
Even under the hood, you can't even see it because the battery is covered up on that car and everything. So
Oh, it's got a battery cover.
yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's got plastic covers over like almost everything. So yeah, you would never know. And I got a bigger alternator in that car and everything.
I didn't know you could get bigger alternators.
Oh yeah, I got a bigger alternator. I got a second battery in the trunk.
Really?
Capacitor, yeah.
So you could just like pull up to, you could be at like a car meet or something and be bumping and not worry about running out of juice.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if you really want to crank it, you need that second battery. It's actually, I don't even have enough batteries for that much power. I need more batteries than what I got
Wow.
to really make total use out of all that power.
I've seen like a video on YouTube where this guy had like just like a fuck ton of speakers in his truck,
Yeah.
and he would ask people to get in
Yeah.
and like, hey, listen to it, and people didn't like really believe it,
And then it hits and
dude. And you can see it like you can like I don't. You could just it just pumps out so much air that you're like, holy
Yep.
shit.
Yeah. It's crazy. You ever see those, the really loud systems or whatever, and you got the video camera looking at like the windshield, and the windshield's flexing and waving,
Yeah,
like a wave. It's wild how it does that to glass without breaking.
like that is not good.
Yeah, just the sound waves and stuff. It's insane.
I guess it kind of says something about the quality of the glass that is in some of these vehicles.